I'm Dr. Annemarie La Pensée and I work for Conservation Technologies, which is part of National Museums Liverpool. Conservation Technologies is a financially self-sustaining unit within the National Museums Liverpool group, and we specialise in the non-contact 3D laser scanning of cultural artefacts. We use triangulation-based close-range laser scanning to do this, and we use the data that we produce in a wide variety of applications. These can include documentation, archiving, surface monitoring, work for artists, replication, reconstruction, both real world and digital. Probably missed some out. On-gallery interactives and educational artefacts, handling artefacts and so forth. The majority of our work seems to involve replication for lots of people, but we also do quite a lot of documentation and research. As I was saying, we're a financially self-sustaining unit, so we're not for profit, but it does mean that we get to work not only on our own collections in National Museums Liverpool, but also on the collections of other museums and heritage institutions that might want to use 3D laser scanning and cultural heritage and not have the facilities to do so themselves. In the talk I gave today, I gave examples of many of the applications we use 3D laser scanning for. I touched on the work we've done in trying to scan uncooperative surfaces. That's a really horrible way of describing surfaces that they do cooperate, it's the scanners that are the problem. When you use a laser scanner, obviously you're using light that's reflected from the surface. And when you do that, if the surface isn't reflecting the light well enough, so either it's reflecting it specularly or it's not really getting back to the sensor, that is, it's being absorbed by the surface, then you have problems and your data is not going to be very good, it might be very noisy, or you might not get any data at all. So I spoke a little bit about the work we've done in trying to mitigate those effects, using tricks like making sure we control the ambient lighting, ensuring the objects aren't cleaned before we get to scan them, and also by working closely with the scanning angle, so working at a less than ideal scanning angle when we scan very shiny surfaces. This was best demonstrated on a project we worked on recently for Birmingham Museums, where we scanned articles from Staffordshire Hoard. I also touched on what are we actually doing when we create replicas, and questions of authenticity and how we make sure that our replicas are marked and how we document the replicas that we create. I also looked at the subjectivity in the process, right the way from 3D laser scanning, data processing, through to the types of application technologies that we use and hand finishing that we use in the manufacture of those replicas. In particular, I was talking about how we have looked at the effects of operator subjectivity, which is work we did in collaboration with the National Physical Laboratory in Teddington, and how we studied how different operators operating in the same conditions using a laser scanner might come out with different results. In the end, I also talked a little bit about some projects we've done with artists, because I think that the work with modern artists is really fascinating in terms of the fact that 3D scanning is just a tool for them. We're just helping them to create their work. And I also spoke a little bit about IP and copyright implications in 3D laser scanning, because that's quite a hot topic at the moment, and it's something we spend a lot of time talking to our clients about.